Think of a typical national leader, and you probably picture a generic politician in a tailored suit. India's history contradicts that image, featuring a leadership roster that includes missile scientists, celebrated philosophers, and political mavericks. To manage over 1 billion people, India divides its highest executive power across two parallel tracks. The president stands as the ceremonial head of state, protecting the constitution. Right beside them, the prime minister acts as the head of government, running the country day to day. The individuals in these two roles hold some of the most startling personal records and historic firsts in modern history. To understand India's modern evolution, we must look at the specific records set by its top leaders. We start with tenure. In the early days of the Republic, the first generation of leaders established the absolute limits of how long someone could hold power. Jawaharlal Nehru took the Prime Minister's office on day 1 and held it for nearly 17 continuous years. That remains an unbreakable record for the longest-serving individual in the post. On the presidential side, Dr. Rajendra Prasad cemented the foundation of the state. He remains the only president to serve 2 full terms in office. Then we have the generational gap. Rajiv Gandhi became prime minister at the age of 40, the youngest person ever to hold the office. Morarji Desai eventually took the top post at the age of 81, marking the other extreme as India's oldest prime minister. The system has also seen significant procedural outliers. Chaudhry Charan Singh served as PM without ever facing parliament, while VP Singh was the first to resign following a no-confidence motion. These early extremes and anomalies served as stress tests for a young democratic system, defining its operational boundaries through real-world experience. India frequently elevates profound intellectuals and scholars to its highest offices over career politicians. Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan was a celebrated philosopher and the first president to receive the Bharat Ratna. His birthday is still celebrated across the country as Teachers' Day. Decades later, the presidency went to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. A rocket scientist by training, he became known as the Missile Man of India and the People's President. On the prime ministerial side, Dr. Manmohan Singh rose through the ranks of the Reserve Bank and the Finance Ministry before taking the top post, the only leader to have served in all 3 roles. Selecting these specific minds demonstrates a unique cultural value placed on education and scientific vision as qualifications for leadership. The final category of records belongs to the pioneers who moved past historic demographic barriers. Breaking major barriers, Indira Gandhi became the nation's first female prime minister. Decades later, Pratibha Patil broke the presidential gender barrier as the first woman to hold that office. A series of cultural milestones followed. Zakir Hussain became the first Muslim president, Zail Singh the first Sikh president, and K.R. Narayanan the first Dalit president. P.V. Narasimha Rao eventually brought the prime minister's seat to South India for the first time. Most recently, Draupadi Murmu made history as India's first tribal woman president. Today, Narendra Modi serves as the first prime minister born in an independent India, rather than under British rule. This progression of firsts shows a steady move away from colonial-era power structures, bringing representation to every corner of the republic. These milestones provide a clear view of how India's leadership has changed over 70 years. This timeline of extremes, scholars, and barrier breakers tracks the trajectory of a democracy as it expands to include more voices. We can track the journey from the aristocratic founders of 1947 to the brilliant scientists of the 2000s, and finally to indigenous leaders born in a free nation. India's highest offices reflect the country itself, continually breaking its own records and proving that power can come from any community in the Republic.